Japan doesn't just do small things better. It does them so well that the daily problems everyone else quietly lives with simply stop existing. Stove burner covers that catch every splatter before it reaches the surface underneath. Dish soap pumps that pre-foam the soap so the sponge is ready before it touches a single plate. And shower squeegees kept in every bathroom to wipe the walls dry after each use so mold never gets a chance to form. These aren't major renovations or expensive appliances. They're small daily upgrades that remove friction so completely, you wonder how you ever tolerated doing it any other way. Today we're counting down 15 small things every Japanese home does better. Watch until the end because number 15, a small spray bottle kept beside the toilet, is the 30-second habit that instantly improves daily hygiene. Number 1, the kitchen scrap bowl. Think about the last time you were chopping vegetables for dinner. Carrot tops, potato peels, onion skins, all of it piling up on the edge of the cutting board while you keep working around it, or making 3 separate trips to the bin mid-prep. It slows everything down and the counter ends up looking like a disaster before the actual cooking has even started. Japanese home cooks keep a small bowl beside the cutting board specifically for this. Everything goes in as it's produced. Peels, trimmings, seeds, packaging scraps, all of it lands in the bowl in one motion without breaking stride. When prep is done, the bowl goes to the bin in a single trip, and the counter stays clear the entire time. It's such a minor habit that it barely qualifies as a change. But once you cook this way, going back to chasing scraps across a cluttered board feels genuinely ridiculous. Number 2, the foam dish soap pump. Most kitchens around the world have a bottle of dish soap that you tip or squeeze onto a sponge, then spend time working into a lather before it's actually ready to wash anything. It wastes more soap than most people realize, and a significant amount of it goes straight down the drain before it's done anything useful. Japanese kitchens swap this out for a foam dispensing pump. You press it once and it delivers soap that's already foamed inside the mechanism, ready to clean immediately the moment it touches the sponge or your hands. Brands like Soraya and Kao have been making these for years and they're a standard fixture in Japanese kitchen sinks. You use a fraction of the soap per wash, it rinses away faster, and the sponge is ready to go from the first press. It's one of those swaps that feels almost too simple until you realize you've been wasting soap every single day for years. Number 3, toilet paper covers. This one sounds almost too minor to mention until you understand why it exists. Japanese bathrooms are sealed, humid environments. The bathing area produces steam regularly, the room is small and often windowless, and that moisture has to go somewhere. Without a cover, the outermost layers of the toilet roll absorb it slowly over days, softening the paper and leaving it slightly damp to the touch. Japanese toilet paper holders have a hinged cover that closes over the roll between uses, keeping the paper dry and protected. It's a standard design across Japanese bathrooms, and has been for decades. The cover takes a second to flip open and closes back down on its own. It's a small hardware change that solves a problem most people in humid climates don't even consciously register. They just accept slightly soft toilet paper as normal. Japan looked at that and decided there was no reason to accept it at all. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even smarter. Number 4, stove burner covers. If you have a gas stove, you already know the problem. Oil splatters during cooking and lands in the metal channels around and between the burners where it bakes on at high heat and becomes almost impossible to remove without serious scrubbing. It's one of the most tedious kitchen cleaning jobs there is, and it builds up faster than most people expect. Japanese kitchens use thin silicone or aluminum foil covers, specifically shaped to sit around and between the gas burners, catching everything before it reaches the surface underneath. After cooking, you pull them out, clean or replace them, and the stovetop underneath stays completely untouched. They're sold at every Japanese home store and 100 yen shop in multiple sizes to fit different stove configurations. The concept is so straightforward, it's almost frustrating that it isn't standard everywhere else. The hardest part of cleaning around a gas burner is the baked-on residue. These make sure that residue never forms in the first place. Number 5. Under-shelf hanging baskets. Open any kitchen cabinet and there's a good chance at least half the vertical space inside it is doing nothing. The shelf holds whatever's on it, and everything between that and the shelf above is wasted air. Most kitchens just accept this and run out of storage anyway. Japanese home organization solves this with small wire or plastic baskets that clip directly beneath an existing shelf, hanging down into that unused vertical gap and creating a second accessible layer without any modification to the cabinet itself. They clip on in seconds, hold a genuine amount of weight, and come off just as easily if you need to reconfigure. They work just as well in bathroom cabinets, pantries, and wardrobes as they do in the kitchen, and they're a standard product at Japanese home stores and 100 yen shops. It's not a complicated idea, it's just the logical response to space that's already there and doing absolutely nothing. Number 6. Appliance dust covers. Walk into a Japanese kitchen and you'll notice that the appliances sitting on the counter are often covered with neat fabric covers when they're not in use. This isn't purely decorative, though it does make the kitchen look considerably more intentional. Kitchens accumulate airborne grease from cooking. It settles on every surface, including appliances, and over days it combines with dust to create a film that needs wiping before each use. The cover stops that entirely. The appliance underneath stays clean between uses, and the counter looks tidier because there's no visual clutter of exposed machines. Japanese fabric appliance covers come in a huge range of sizes and designs to fit specific models, and buying one for your rice cooker or toaster is a completely normal purchase. It's a habit that keeps the kitchen cleaner without requiring any additional cleaning, which is exactly the kind of solution Japan tends to reach for. Number 7. Japanese Y-shaped vegetable peelers. The standard peeler used in most Western kitchens is a straight I-shaped tool where the blade runs in line with the handle. You drag it along the vegetable and peel in a straight stroke. It works, but on anything curved like a potato, a carrot, or an apple, it requires constant repositioning and often needs multiple passes to get an even result. The Y-shaped peeler positions the blade horizontally across the top of the handle, perpendicular to the direction you're pulling. This means the blade naturally follows the curve of whatever you're peeling, removing thin, consistent strips in a single pass with significantly less effort and far less waste. They're inexpensive, available everywhere in Japan, and have built a genuine global following through Japanese cooking channels. It's one of those tools where the improvement is immediately obvious the first time you use it, and the straight peeler quietly stops coming out of the drawer. Number 8. Japanese suction hook systems. Standard suction cups work by pressing against a smooth surface and relying on atmospheric pressure to hold them in place. They hold reasonably well initially and then gradually lose their grip as the seal weakens, usually at the exact moment something is hanging on them. Japanese suction hooks from brands like Kukubo use a lever mechanism that physically compresses the cup against the surface after placement, creating a true vacuum seal rather than a passive one. The result is a hold significantly stronger than a standard suction cup, one that stays reliable for months rather than days. They're used throughout Japanese bathrooms and kitchens for towel hooks, shower caddies, soap holders, and organizers, all without drilling into walls. For anyone in a rented space where wall fixtures aren't an option, they're a genuinely practical solution. The difference between these and a regular suction cup is immediately obvious the first time one stays exactly where you put it, through steam, weight, and daily use. Number 9. The shower wall squeegee. After every shower, the walls, the screen, and the tiles are covered in water droplets. In most Western bathrooms, those droplets are left to dry on their own, and as the water evaporates, it leaves behind mineral deposits that build up over weeks into white limescale marks. The damp surface also gives mold everything it needs to take hold in the grout lines. Japanese bathrooms keep a small squeegee inside the shower, specifically to wipe the walls down after each use. It takes about 30 seconds, the water goes to the drain, and the surfaces dry clean. No mineral deposits, no mold, no weekend scrubbing session trying to reverse weeks of buildup. It's one of the clearest examples of Japan treating prevention as the actual solution rather than making the cleaning easier after the damage is done. A 30-second habit after every shower eliminates one of the most stubborn and time-consuming bathroom cleaning jobs entirely. Number 10. Japanese double-lid tea canisters. Tea goes stale faster than most people realize. Once a container is opened and resealed with a standard press-fit lid, air gets in every single time, and the flavor and aroma degrade noticeably over weeks. For green tea and matcha especially, the difference between fresh and stale is significant. Japanese tea canisters use a two-layer lid system. An inner lid creates an airtight seal against the container opening, and an outer lid provides a second layer of closure over that. Every time you open it, you're breaking and resetting a proper seal rather than lifting a loose-fitting cap. They're standard in Japanese kitchens for green tea, matcha, and loose-leaf teas, and work just as well for coffee, spices, and anything else where freshness matters. It's a small design change with a straightforward purpose. Keep the air out and the flavor stays in considerably longer than any single lid container manages. Number 11. Bathroom towel hook systems. Most towel rails and hooks position the towel flat against the wall, folded over a bar with the back of the fabric pressed directly against the surface. The fold traps moisture, and the contact with the wall prevents airflow behind it. The result is a towel that never fully dries between uses, and within a few uses it develops a smell. Japanese towel hooks hold the towel extended away from the wall with enough clearance for air to circulate on both sides. The entire towel dries between uses rather than staying damp at the fold and against the back. It sounds like a minor positioning detail until you realize that a towel that dries completely, stays fresh considerably longer, needs washing less frequently, and never develops that damp smell most people just accept as normal. Japan looked at a poorly positioned hook and decided it was worth solving properly. It's a small hardware change with a result you notice every single day. Number 12, the diatomite dish drying mat. The standard dish drying mat used in most kitchens is a fabric or rubber pad that absorbs water from wet dishes but stays wet itself for hours. It sits in pooled water, eventually develops mold underneath, and the counter beneath it stays permanently damp. Most people tolerate this as an unavoidable side effect of washing dishes. Japan uses a diatomite dish drying mat instead. Diatomite is a naturally porous material made from fossilized algae that absorbs water almost instantly on contact and then releases it back into the air, drying itself completely within an hour. No pooled water, no mold, no permanently damp counter underneath. They come in various sizes, are easy to clean, and last for years. Once you've used one, a fabric drying mat feels like a design problem rather than a solution. The water disappears on contact, and the mat is dry again before your next meal. Number 13, drawer deodorizing sachets. When you store clothes in a closed drawer for any length of time, they absorb the smell of the enclosed space. It's subtle, but it's there. Clothes that come out smelling slightly stale despite being freshly washed are usually picking that up from the drawer itself rather than from being worn. Japanese homes place small bamboo charcoal or activated carbon sachets inside clothing drawers and wardrobe sections. Bamboo charcoal is highly porous and naturally absorbs both odors and excess moisture from the surrounding air. It doesn't add a scent of its own, it simply removes the problem at the source. The sachets are replaced every few months, are inexpensive, and work completely passively. It's an invisible fix to a problem most people dismiss as normal until they experience the difference. Clothes that come out of the drawer smelling genuinely clean rather than faintly of storage is one of those small things that turns out to matter more than you'd expect. Number 14, silicone produce covers, half an onion, half a lemon, half an avocado. Every kitchen deals with cut produce that needs to go back in the fridge. The standard solution is cling film, which you tear, stretch, and attempt to seal around an awkward shape before throwing it away. It generates plastic waste on every single instance and doesn't always seal properly. Japanese kitchens use small silicone caps that fit directly over the cut face of the produce. The cap forms a seal against the exposed surface with no wrapping required and comes off and goes back on in a second. They come in sets covering multiple sizes for different vegetables and fruits and are reusable indefinitely. The cut surface stays better protected than under cling film. The plastic waste disappears entirely, and the whole interaction takes a fraction of the time. It's a direct replacement for a daily kitchen habit with a solution that's faster, cheaper over time, and considerably less wasteful. Number 15, the daily toilet spray. In most Western homes, cleaning the toilet is a weekly job at best. You let residue and bacteria build up over several days and then tackle the result with bleach and a brush. It takes effort, it's unpleasant, and the toilet is at varying levels of clean for most of the week. Japanese homes keep a small spray bottle of diluted bathroom cleaning solution beside the toilet. After each use, a quick spray and a single wipe of the seat and rim takes about 30 seconds. Because nothing is allowed to build up, there's nothing to scrub. The toilet stays clean every single day without a dedicated cleaning session ever being needed. It's the most straightforward habit change on this entire list. 30 seconds daily versus a difficult weekly clean. Japan chose the 30 seconds and eliminated the weekly scrub completely. Once you start doing it, going back to letting residue accumulate for a week before dealing with it feels entirely unnecessary. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more life-improving things.